This is good. This makes me happy.
Yeah, this is so fun. It feels like it's our first episode.
Yeah,
Not-
except we're a lot less nervous.
I was going to say not in the way of like, I'm nervous about this, but just in the way of like, I can't wait for people to hear what this sounds like and what
Exactly.
this looks like now.
Yeah.
So, yay. Let's get started.
Cool.
Welcome to another episode of Everything's Dumb. My name is Kate.
My name is Victoria.
And we are professionals at this point. I mean, this is our first episode. We have new mics.
Yes, we do.
If you are watching on Spotify or YouTube, we have a new background. It's still a temporary background. This is not how it will always look.
Yeah.
But we made it out of the hostage situation.
I know. We survived that
There was
canvas tent.
There was a period where we were just going to have white behind us. And I was like, oh, we can, say that we died in the hostage. And now we are in heaven.
Yeah.
And talking about all the dumb things in heaven. But this is still a work in progress visually.
Yeah.
But hopefully you notice the sound a little more improved.
Yes, we're very excited about
Very
that.
excited about my pink microphone.
Yay. She's so cute.
It is. She's adorable. And she's perfect. And now this is what all of our episodes will sound like. And you won't hear as many planes.
Correct. Yeah, that's a big difference, I think.
As much as I loved having the firework appear in the fireworks episode.
Yeah.
This is going to be much better.
Yeah, that was the one benefit of having like kind of a shitty microphone situation.
Yes.
Was that it picked up the fireworks
Every
so
once in
well.
a while, the ambient noises aided in the episode.
Yeah.
But that won't be the case with this one, hopefully. We are going to be talking about drug laws. So hopefully you won't be hearing any drug use in the background.
No.
Luckily,
not from me, at least.
Not living in that sort of neighborhood quite yet.
Yet. Like we will in the future?
I mean,
or
you
North
never know.
Hollywood will turn into that.
You never know.
I thought I left the druggies behind
Stayed. What?
when I moved.
Oh,
Over here.
of other people. Okay. You said it. You thought you left the drug use behind?
I'm sorry. I said druggies.
Oh.
Cute little
You said
nickname for
drug
people who do
use.
drugs. No.
I was like,
No, I don't do drugs.
I apparently don't know about all of your
No.
college days.
No.
Okay.
No. I like about 3 cocktails and that's about it.
3 doubles.
I mean, I didn't specify. I said 3 cocktails.
Yeah.
That they could each have like 6 shots in them.
But if you have a glass of wine and you just keep pouring into the same glass, that's still a glass.
A glass of wine.
A glass of wine.
If you only have to wash 1 glass at the end of the night.
Cheers.
The things we do to justify
Our lifestyle.
I have officially now had at least a quarter of a cup of tequila.
It is 1:55 p.m.
It's the afternoon.
It is.
It's fine.
It is. It's like having a drink with your lunch, but you didn't have lunch. You just had tequila.
No, I did not. I had a few spoonfuls of overnight oats about
This-
4 hours ago.
This is going to be an amazing episode. I can already tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is kind of what people signed up for, and we're going to deliver. So you're welcome.
If this is your first episode, hold on. So I do want to talk about my vacation
Yes.
because I have gone on my vacation, which was good.
Okay.
It wasn't amazing, incredible. It was great. Like there were parts of it that were great. There were also parts of it that were not as great.
Mhm.
Most of those had to do with the Airbnb that I stayed in. Airbnb,
Yep.
we would love you to be a sponsor, but that one place
Yeah.
was maybe not up to par.
Yeah.
hopefully.
Airbnb is such a big company. You would think that they would have standards.
I guess I just didn't expect it to not come with the same amenities that a hotel comes with. Like I
Right.
expected a hotel style thing,
Yeah.
plus you have the rest of the house.
Yeah, I think when Airbnb started, it was like a hotel but better, like
Yeah.
more personalized
Right.
and maybe like cleaner.
Right.
And now I feel like, I mean, there probably maybe was a little motel somewhere in the area that you stayed in, but like then you have neighbors and you have loud people and, so now I feel like your best option for a vacation is an Airbnb, especially if you want that freedom of staying way out in the desert.
Right.
And so because they've conditioned people to stay in Airbnbs every time they travel, they don't have to be as nice.
Yeah.
It's like how everybody is so used to Uber and Lyfts that like
Yeah.
it can be like the shittiest car with the worst driver. Not that those two correlate. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that if it's what you're used to and it's your only option, you'll pay a lot of money
Right.
to be driven by someone who like basically you think they definitely didn't pass their driver's test, or to stay in a place that has fucking rusty knives.
Well, so I feel like that is one of the themes of capitalism, which is probably a future episode, where like the idea of capitalism is great. That you
Yeah.
have a bunch of competing people trying to do
Yeah.
the best for the consumer.
So they create
to
the
win
best product.
Right. But there's a certain thing about companies getting too big and too powerful and not having to give a fuck anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really frustrating because
Yeah.
if you don't, I'm sure when Airbnb first started, like you said, it was great. I'm sure when most companies first start, they are great.
They have to try really hard.
Exactly. The bigger they get, the less it matters. You
Yeah.
know, 1, 2, 3 bad review. It doesn't matter. And especially now that it's all real estate companies on Airbnb, it's not like someone who wanted to do their own B&B business creating this, but for people, like being able to open it up on this huge platform of
Yeah.
having your own bed and breakfast
Yeah.
and having people from all over be exposed to it and not have to like look in your specific town, but like they can just go on this massive website and find your small little business in this tiny
Yeah.
little town that maybe they didn't even know about before. But now it is real estate companies like the place that I stayed in, and
Even if they claim they're small business.
yeah, I got an email after I stayed there about the review that I still have yet to write because I just am not in the mood to write a shitty review because I don't like writing shitty reviews. I just feel like I have to be honest.
Yeah.
The biggest problem
You're not doing it out of spite. You're
No.
doing it because you want to help the next
Right.
potential renter.
Because if I had known going into this that there are no curtains in the bedroom that block out sunlight. You are in the middle of the desert. You are up on a hill. So the sun is going to come on at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
on your vacation when you are probably not going to bed early because you
No.
only have this place for 2 nights.
Yeah.
And so you want to stay up and enjoy the place and take in all the amenities that you can.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, when the sun shines through the thin white sheer curtains at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
onto your face, and I didn't bring a sleep mask because I just didn't know, because I just figured. Because when I stay at hotels, I don't need a sleep mask because hotels have curtains that block out the light.
They sure do.
These curtains didn't block out the fucking moonlight. Like, it was so bright out there.
They're like lacy, like
Yeah,
privacy curtains.
They're like the sheer curtains that you put in front of actual curtains. Like,
Yeah.
if you've ever stayed at an actual fucking hotel or motel,
Yeah.
they have the privacy curtains, which is this like thin white, like thinner than the sheet hanging behind us.
Yeah,
this
it lets the
thin-
light in.
Yes,
but
it
you
lets
can't
all of the
necessarily
light in,
see
so the
through
room
it.
can still be bright, but you can't really see. You can see like shapes beyond
Yeah.
it or whatever, but you can't see. You know, it's just for privacy, but you can still enjoy the light. That was all that they had.
That's such an amateur move, and I mean, I agree with you. It would not have occurred to me that I needed to take curtains.
Right.
Because they should have provided them.
Right.
That's a very basic thing. Like,
It-
you're setting up the bedroom. It needs a bed. It needs fucking curtains.
I just don't. It was so obvious that any of the people that designed or set up this house never spent a night there.
Yeah. Which they should have done.
Right.
If I were setting up an Airbnb, I would be like, I volunteer to spend the weekend here.
Right.
To like, first of all, you get a little mini vacation, but then you also can get an accurate view of
Right.
like, our guests will sleep in this bed.
Right.
Oh my God, I got woken up at 6 a.m. by the fucking sun.
Yeah.
After a night of staying up late, watching the stars, maybe having a few drinks. you thought that you would go in the pool, in the hot tub, etc., which we can also talk about. But yeah, I'm so pissed off for you.
Yeah. So there was a hot tub out back that
Yeah.
was advertised for like lovely stargazing because you're out in the middle of the desert. So like you can see a bunch of stars. The moon was pretty bright. So like going out in the front part of the house, it was kind of, you could see a lot more stars than you normally could have, but the sunlight or the moonlight was really bright. And technically it's sunlight. Anyway, the moon was really bright. So we were like, oh, the backyard would be better. And the backyard is great if you're a bat because there were a lot of bats out back. And no, thank you for rabies. No, thank you. No, thank you. Brian
you.
immediately starts Googling like cases of people getting like just scratched by a bat or bitten by a bat or something by a bat and then immediately getting rabies. And of course, with rabies, you don't realize you have it until you have symptoms. And by the time you have symptoms, it's too late and you're dead. So,
because your brain has tripled in size and
Yes.
you're already dying.
yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that rabies is transmitted through saliva, so I'm not sure about a scratch, but you could also get an infection.
So he found cases of women just thinking that they got scratched or like the bat ends up in their hair and they just think that it was a scratch and then So yeah, we didn't go out back at all, which the back was where the fire pit was, the grill, and the hot tub. So both nights we tried to use the hot tub. It did not work because there were bats out there. And then the second night we wanted to grill. So we had to grill our food at like fucking 5 p.m., even though we weren't going to eat it until later because we didn't want to be out there when there was a bat flying around and like over our heads the entire time. I tried like citronella candles. I was like, they're after the bugs. If we put all the citronella candles that are out front, out back, and like light the fire pit early, maybe the bat won't be around.
Yeah.
And that worked for like 20 minutes. We went and sat by the fire pit and then anyway. So we would have gone out front, which is where the pool was, which the pool was great during the day. But the lights didn't work in the pool. So we at night stayed inside both nights. So,
and I know that the pool lights didn't work, but like were there candles or something? You could have like lit a bunch of candles around the pool and just kind of swam like half in the dark. Or like they didn't even provide.
There was one citronella candle out front that we put out back, but I mean like in the water there were also like some bugs in the water that were just like bugs that swam around. They weren't really like after, but the thought of at night being in with the bugs and not being able to see the bottom of it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to swim in like lakes in the middle of the night growing up. So we have a different experience there. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying like that wouldn't have occurred to me.
Yeah. Well, and like, I don't know. The amount of Brian heard a rattlesnake when he was.
Oh no!
They don't come out at night necessarily, but
that
it was not.
You know how I feel about snakes.
Yeah, it was not. I mean, by the end of the trip, I was delirious, like from being so tired. Luckily, Brian drove because I would not have been able to drive home. I would have had to get a hotel on the way back
to recover
to
from
actually
your
sleep,
like
where I could draw the fucking curtains and actually get some sleep in order to drive home.
Yeah,
like it was. Yeah.
That's a real bummer. I'm very sorry.
Pool was nice, though.
Yeah. I mean, at least there's that.
Okay, so for today's topic, we are talking about drug laws and how great they are. Just kidding. I think like a lot of drug laws are clearly written by people who have no experience with drugs.
Uh-huh.
And most of them are quite arbitrary or just written out of fear and complete lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. A little bit of the backstory of drug laws in the pre-1900s.
Pre-1900s.
The good old days. Many drugs like opium, cocaine, and cannabis were legal and sold in medicines and tonics. What a time to be alive.
Yes, I just listened, I think yesterday, to an old episode of Stuff You Should Know about heroin, and they talked about that. They talked about how heroin was heroin, I think, is actually like the brand name, maybe. Sorry if I'm stealing things that you were about to say.
That, but it's fine.
But
just plug another podcast. It's totally cool.
Everyone knows Stuff You Should Know. And if you don't,
You should know.
Then do you even listen to podcasts? What have you been doing for the past 12 years? Heroin was invented to help people kick morphine addiction.
Yep. The non-addictive alternative.
Yeah, they advertised it as being non-addictive, and they would put it in everything, even like lozenges. So you go to the doctor for a sore throat and get a cough drop that was just fucking heroin. And then after a while, they were like, wait, stop. This is a bad idea.
In 1906, the Pure Food and Drug Act required accurate labeling of medicines containing these addictive substances. So still not doing anything to stop people from just so you know.
Yeah.
Opium in here. Just so you know.
Just so you're aware.
Just so you know. Just FYI. In 1914, the Harrison Narcotics Tax Act was the first time that it regulated drugs. So this regulates and taxes opiates and cocaine, effectively restricting them. But of course, we just know that that means only for rich people.
Yeah.
So restricting them, meaning no more pores.
Yeah.
You don't get, sorry, pores. You don't get any more cocaine.
I mean, that's just the story of human history.
Yep. That's
Sorry,
how we restrict
pores.
things. Is we
You don't
just
get
take
this
them away
anymore.
from poor people. That's
Yeah.
restriction. 1920 to 1933 saw alcohol prohibition, which honestly,
Boo.
I didn't think that lasted that long. I guess I just never really looked into prohibition because I was like, well, they were fucking stupid and wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was like during the 20s for a few years. 13
Yeah.
years?
I guess I thought that it was only maybe 5 or 6 years.
Can you imagine?
Well, also, I did not know that it was still around during the Great Depression. Can you imagine?
No wonder people were depressed.
Okay, well, that's not what that means.
Yes, it is. It is to me.
Can you imagine being one of those idiots on Wall Street, like during, what was it called? When the Wall Street
The Great
crashed?
Depression?
No, like what was the day called? I want to call it Black Friday, but of course that's a
Nope.
different thing.
I have no idea.
Anyway, the day that Wall Street crashed
Mhm.
and most people lost almost all of their money. Can
Right.
you imagine not being able to go home and like have a drink?
No.
I mean, they probably found a speakeasy because by then Prohibition had been around for 9 years. So people
Right.
had started to find a way around it.
Right. Again, for rich people.
Yeah. But they couldn't just go home and like chug some gin.
Yeah.
They had to like
I mean,
find.
if they could, probably a lot more people would have died on that day. But yeah, I know
Although I
that
guess
you
they could go home and just suck on some heroin
There you
lozenges.
go. just go to your doctor and be like, Doc, this cough can't get rid of it.
I can't kick
A
this
few of
cough.
those lozenges can crush them up and rub them in my eyes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a long time. I know that you've gone like a full year without drinking. I can't imagine going 13.
No. Although after the first like 3 months, it was fine. Like I mean, I didn't want to do another year, but I could have done another year. The first month was January.
Yeah.
And so I was like eating very healthy and not drinking and trying to drink a lot of water and like trying to get a lot of sleep. And that's just how January always goes. And then February,
Or at least the first week of January.
and then February, I was like, well, maybe I'll just wait until my birthday because my birthday is in early March. And then in March, I was like, I don't know. I just don't really, I'll just wait a little bit longer. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm just going to wait until the end of the year and do a full year. And it really wasn't that hard, especially since like flavored sparkling water is a thing.
So 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act.
Oh.
It's actually spelled that way. It's very funny. Marijuana Tax Act heavily restricts cannabis through taxation. 1950s, harsh federal penalties introduced for drug offenses. Fuck you, 50s.
Yeah, that's very stupid. And
The
that
worst.
also in
Worst.
Stuff You Should Know, they talked about how they used to be better at treating people for drug addiction. And they would put them in rehab and they would set them up with doctors and they would put them on like a regimen.
That sounds like it costs money.
Yeah, so they stopped doing that because they didn't want to spend money on those gross drug addicts. And so they They stopped having empathy and they stopped seeking treatment for people, and they just started throwing them in prison. And they would also put doctors in prison if they tried to help people kick their addictions.
So the 1970s, or sorry, the year 1970. So in the year 1970, the Controlled Substances Act was introduced. This creates drug schedules and a unified enforcement system. Fuck you, 1970.
Yeah.
So none of that existed before 1970. That's why everyone thinks the 60s were so great.
Right.
Because they were. Because they were.
Yeah, I mean, except for
back then.
The threat of nuclear annihilation. But yes.
1980s, the war on drugs.
Fuck you, Nancy Reagan.
Under Reagan.
And also Ronald Reagan, just to be clear. Fuck both of them.
They increased the mandatory minimum sentences for policing.
What absolute pieces of shit.
If you don't know what mandatory minimums are, first of all, you're white. And secondly, let me explain. In the 1980s, I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute for that one. I'm sorry.
That caught me very off guard.
I mean, how would you...
First of all, you're white.
You are white. You're as white as the sheet behind us.
Okay.
So basically, mandatory minimums meant that if someone was caught with 5 grams of crack cocaine, they faced the same penalty as someone caught with 500 grams of powdered cocaine.
Nah, dude, that's not the same thing.
500 grams versus 5 grams. Now, if I were to start a drug business where I sold drugs, I would probably be more inclined to have something like 500 grams. The penalty for the person selling and distributing the drugs throughout the community should not be the exact same as the person who just patronized the fucking drug seller and only has 5 like this. It's so stupid. I remember when marijuana legalization was first like rolling out throughout the United States, and each state was so different. I happened to be living on the road at the time, and this was very much of interest to me because I needed to know when
I wonder why
in certain parts of the country what the penalties were. And when Arizona, I remember being one of the most strict states on this, when it was so fun to watch all the states like eventually roll over and like legalize or at least decriminalize things.
As they should do.
Yes. But like, to see, it was always funny how the more restrict and the more uptight the state was about weed, when they actually implemented the laws, the crazier they fucking were. Like I remember in Arizona at one point, I don't remember the year for this, but there was something about it was legal to have up to, it was something like a pound of weed on you at a time. I was like, do these people understand? Like, yes, a pound doesn't, like, if you weigh a pound, it's not that heavy. It doesn't feel like it's going to be
volume.
But the amount of weed that is a pound of weed.
I mean, I don't even buy weed, and I know that that's a lot.
It's so fucking crazy. It was
that's
obviously
a lot
just
of
like
weed.
a bunch of old white people who had never.
Yeah. That's like when they asked, was it Sally Ride? They asked a woman astronaut if she needed 100 tampons for 1 week in space.
No, they gave her 100 and asked if it would be enough.
Was enough.
Is that going to be enough tampon? It's the delusional. I've
enough
never
for like a year, bro.
been anywhere near or around this topic, but I'm going to regulate it. I'm going to guess what is needed and what is too much and too little, because I have no idea what the fuck I am talking.
Well, it's like these crusty old white men trying to make laws about women's bodies in Congress, and the doctors, men and women, are testifying, being like, that's not how any of this works.
Nope.
You're wrong.
Yep.
You're all wrong.
Yep.
Like, I am a licensed physician. I have my own practice. I've been doing this work for 47 years. I'm telling you, you're wrong. And then nothing changes. Yeah, it's all stupid. It's all really stupid. A pound of weed.
So that brings us to the 2000s to the 2020s. Yeah, right. No, it's it would be enough weed for the entire state of Arizona at one point. And these fucking people think that everyone is just walking around. Like, that's what briefcases are filled with. Like, I just don't understand. It's insane. Absolutely insane. So the 2000s to the 2010s, growing movements towards decriminalization and legalization for cannabis and certain psychedelics focus begins shifting towards treatment over punishment. So we're going back to the good old days for once that actually applies. So some fun facts.
Okay.
Fun facts about drugs.
Yay!
Just to go back to the other podcast that you were for some reason mentioning on our amazing, far superior podcast. Heroin was once cough syrup in the late 1800s. Bayer marketed heroin as a non-addictive alternative to morphine. Spoiler alert. It wasn't at all.
No. That was a big old lie.
I'm sure everyone knows the lore of cocaine and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Up until 1929. Fuck. I would love to try.
I've never done cocaine if Brian ever had that.
Right? Maybe. My boyfriend's quite old.
He is quite old.
He's gonna laugh at this.
And then like sob a little bit.
He'll laugh in a single tear.
A single tear. He'll be like, it's so funny.
But like that really high pitched, unnatural.
Yeah. He'll keep laughing if he knows what's good for him.
He's fine.
He's fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, I have also never done coke. Don't want to.
No.
Don't think I'd like it. I've never done any drugs except for weed, which, like, again, not a drug, in my opinion. Just like a less disgusting cigarette, you know?
Oh, far less disgusting.
Yeah.
Not addictive.
Right. But yeah, I've never done any drugs and I have no interest in it. I have also never been offered any drugs, which a little part of me is like, why not? Why not?
Do you remember when you were a kid and we were all convinced that like strangers would be pulling up in unmarked vans and offering us candy and free drugs?
Yeah.
And then we grew up and we're like, the fuck are these vans parked?
Where are the free drugs I was promised?
They looked like candy.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
We were also told that there would be like quicksand everywhere.
Dude, that...
How terrified were you of quicksand as a child? Like, I was really concerned about that.
I mean...
No? Was this just a rural child?
No, I just did never think that I would be presented with the opportunity to get stuck in quicksand.
Ah, okay.
I didn't go traipsing through the wilderness. And also, like, I didn't live anywhere near sand. So I didn't really think that, like, quicksand would be an issue. It was all dirt.
I didn't live near sand, but as I've mentioned before, we did go camping at the beach quite often. And there are a lot of like kind of swampy marshlands around the beach on the East Coast.
You know what I was like terrified / interested and fascinated by that I thought would be a bigger thing when I was an adult was the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Like I thought by the time I grew up, they will have this mystery solved.
Yeah.
Like this will all be figured out and we'll know all the science behind and like figure out where the portal takes people. Like what is going on with this?
Yeah.
I really thought that was, and then like I never hear about that.
Yeah, it's not really a thing that people discuss anymore.
It's not.
Although I would
have like GPS and shit now, but it's a shame.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I wouldn't mind some answers about that.
Yeah. I liked just thinking that there was this like mythical passageway out in the ocean that certain people could go into, and I wonder where they went.
Like Brigadoon.
Yeah. Or Narnia.
Yeah, but Brigadoon is cooler because it's in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess Narnia is in England.
I was going to say, isn't that somewhere over there?
The ranking of coolness, Scotland is always at the top.
Okay.
England is pretty far up there because they have like Yorkshire pudding and stuff. But Scotland's always at the top.
If I think of the things that England has, Yorkshire pudding is not. Okay.
What do you think about?
The
gherkin?
The tube?
The tube?
I don't know.
Mind the gap.
Lining up in a queue. Pubs.
Queuing.
Queuing
is what it's called.
Oh.
Pubs, taverns.
I remember going to England and going to a pub, and at like 5 o'clock, they're like, all right, we're closing. And I was like, the fuck? Like,
Was it like in a small town? Was it like
No,
in
it
a
was in London.
village? Oh, huh. I don't know about that. That's
It
interesting.
was very strange. Okay, back on topic. So as you were alluding to before, reefer madness, the reefer madness panic in the 1930s was an anti-marijuana campaign that included over-the-top propaganda films claiming that cannabis caused insanity,
Uh-oh.
violence,
Oh, okay.
and as if insanity and violence weren't enough,
Mm-hmm.
jazz.
Not the jazz.
Nixon, apparently, after his whole war on drugs bullshit that he went through, he admitted that it was targeted towards anti-war activists and Black communities. So it was merely deflection away from everything that he had going on and wanted to take focus off of. Oh, crazy how that
sounds
worked.
familiar.
Crazy how that worked. Good thing that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Jesus.
Anymore. Yeah. So, currently, certain parts of the world at least, are trying to move things in the opposite direction. In 2001, Portugal decriminalized all drugs.
Nice.
Meaning people will not go to jail
Right.
for their addictions
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Crazy idea.
Imagine someone being sent to prison for like 40 years because they're addicted to caffeine.
Yep.
Like because they just can't stop drinking coffee.
Or porn.
Right. Oh my God.
Imagine.
Wait, hold on. I have an idea.
Oh God. I love that I said porn and you're like, wait, stop the podcast.
No. Okay, it's different. That's not what's happening.
Excited to
no. It's not going to be as exciting as what that makes. Anyway, I think that if we criminalize porn,
Ooh.
okay, I know that there are plenty of good people out there who watch porn. Fine, whatever. However, I think that it will put the absolute dregs of society in prison. And I think like 90% of Congress will be put in prison. And like 97% of the shittiest people in this country, I'm not going to specify which party they align with because we don't talk about politics.
I think that there should be, how everyone's like, there should be limits on social media and like how much you use it.
Yeah.
There should be a limit on porn every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
there people who watch porn every day?
Have you seen
No.
all of these stories of these fucking CEOs that are found to be watching porn for 8 hours a day in their goddamn offices?
8 hours?
And they are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars per year because they don't do fucking anything. So all they do is just sit in their offices and watch porn. There was some CEO years ago.
8 hours?
I might cut this out because I don't know any of the stuff behind it. But like there was some CEO that they found like hard drives in his office just filled with porn because that's all he did all day.
What?
Yeah. No, they're full on porn addicts. It's
Okay,
like
this is
people that just all they do are drugs. There's people that all they do are just watch porn.
that is that would be disturbing if they weren't doing that at work and making a shit ton of money. That
Who
would
was
just
the
be disturbing
fucking-
for like an average person sitting at home.
Congressman, some like family values fucking congressman
Of
just
course.
recently got caught. Like someone saw him watching porn in his office at his desk. It's rampant.
How are you
It's-
not able? I mean, I guess they must be addicts if they're not able to at
Yes.
least wait until they get home.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, smartphones are a thing. Go into the fucking bathroom.
But they need the big screen.
Why? Oh my God. I guess I'm just a fucking prude because I don't understand.
So Portugal in 2001.
It's disgusting.
Okay, so
Ew.
in
Okay.
2001, Portugal decriminalized all drugs. Possession of small amounts are treated as a public health issue, not a crime.
Right, which is what it is. It's a health concern.
So as a result of this,
Mhm.
of course, everyone in Portugal is completely high all the time. All production has stopped. Portugal since 2001 has devolved into this crumbling society
Yeah.
where everyone is just on heroin 24/7.
Yeah.
They have no exports. They have no semblance of any sort of society or
Right.
infrastructure, anything. Just kidding. So drug-related deaths and HIV infection rates dropped dramatically
Mm-hmm.
as soon as this happened. More
Yeah.
people then sought treatments without fear of arrest.
Yeah.
Because how fucking stupid is it that like the thing that you were addicted to, if you admit to being addicted to, could get you thrown in fucking jail.
Right. So of course you're not going to ask
So
for help.
why would you go and tell anybody about what? There's
Right.
no fucking motivation for anything to change. Why not just stay in the shadows?
Right.
Because it's not just like, well, then just stop doing it. Oh, okay. Do you know what the fucking addiction is?
Right.
So you need some sort of extra help in order to pull you out of most addictions. And so to not be able to seek that help without fear of literally being thrown in jail.
Being incarcerated.
What? Like.
And you know what's worse than like living on the streets? Living in prison.
Jail. Being in jail. Going through withdrawals in jail.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a Portuguese prison is nicer than the U.S., but
you're still like a non-violent person,
right?
In there with what is supposed to be the worst of society that needs to be removed from society because they're so dangerous.
You're still just a regular person,
right?
Yeah, living amongst potentially like monsters,
right?
Yeah. I have a feeling that the U.S. is not going to do that because we have for-profit prisons that basically just operate like legal slavery. So I don't think that we're ever going to decriminalize anything.
The 1970s, I was like 1970s when all this shit started going down. Yeah. That's when the Netherlands decided to have a cannabis tolerance policy. That's why everyone wants to go to Amsterdam. I
know someone who really wants to go to Amsterdam.
Coffee shops, which
quite badly
might be fun.
I think she said it would be her first stop on her European tour.
Because that's how you get rid of jet lag fucking instantly. Because I've been to Europe before and I fucking hated the jet lag and we had no way to get any sort of sleep aids when we were over there. And so
sleep aids.
When we were there, we just had to fucking stay up all night and sleep in all day and then go to a pub and be like, finally, we're at a British pub. And then it's 5 o'clock and they close. Anyway. So coffee shops were allowed to sell small amounts of cannabis, which, again, as we all know, the Netherlands is complete fucking chaos. Right. Absolutely nothing gets done there. There's
a notoriously crumbling society.
Yeah, just nothing.
Not like really smart, hot people.
No.
Just living
they
awesome
don't do
lives.
They don't send any... and no one goes to the Olympics from the Netherlands anymore. They're just completely wiped off of the like global social and economic map. There's nothing.
Right.
This, of course, didn't lead to any sort of huge spikes compared to neighboring countries of use. Tourism increased because the doi.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that movie Euro Trip?
Like so long ago at a party.
Oh, okay.
So, when you watch a movie at a party and you're catching like every other scene.
You can't really hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in that movie, like, oh my God. It's also been a long time. I'm pretty sure that like one of their very first stops was Amsterdam.
Right.
Yeah.
Comedy. Yeah.
That's not a bad movie. I mean, it was a stupid comedy, but it was a good movie. However,
2000s dumb comedy,
was shown the unrated version when I was way too young to be watching. I mean, I'm sure that and
you had never watched secular television before, so this was...
I didn't even know what a television was. The picture moves. No, I mean,
this radio's so bright.
Right into my eyeballs. No, I feel like the rated version of that movie is probably, I mean, at least PG-13, if not R.
I think it was PG-13, and then the unrated is probably like the worse than R one.
Yeah. And I probably was not even old enough to watch the PG-13 version.
Shit.
And I was just like, I am now scared of Europe. But, obviously.
You got over it.
I got over it. It's a good movie, though. It's funny. Anyway, continue. Sorry. I keep like veering to the left.
So
It's really hot.
it's fine. We're talking about drugs. You can just mosey on to whatever part of the conversation
Yeah, this is the only episode I ever do this
state
on.
you're in right now. We're just chilling and talking about drugs. So Uruguay in 2013 legalized recreational cannabis.
Ooh.
Criminal black markets for cannabis went away.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that if you decriminalize it, then all of a sudden people aren't like drug dealers.
Right.
And they don't need to kidnap people
Yeah.
and hold their family hostage.
Right.
And say, you are now going to be my drug mule. And
Right.
if you don't do it, I am
Right.
going to slaughter your wife and children.
Sure.
So
That
like
was very close to happening to us in the last few episodes if you watched because we were kidnapped.
we were the wives just waiting for our men to return home. We started a podcast. We got bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get rid of a lot of other crime.
Yeah.
That like, you know, the chain of events from the drug being created all the way down to it being used by someone. There's a whole lot of violence.
Yeah.
In that chain. And so if you just legalize
Which
it.
is crazy for like a literal weed that grows out of the ground with ease. And
Yeah.
why? So they said that the early challenges in Uruguay was the supply meeting demand.
I didn't have enough.
Once they were like, hey, maybe we could like sell this and tax it. Yes, we'll take some. We'll take some over here.
Yeah.
That was basically the biggest challenge that they faced. In the U.S., we're, of course, doing this. Colorado and Washington were the first to do it. They, of course, saw huge tax increases.
Yes. I remember Colorado when I was in, I don't know if you have the year that they did it, but I feel like when I was in high school, it was a big thing that Colorado was like, everyone was high out in Colorado.
The Rocky Mountain High.
Yes.
I remember it being a big thing.
Well, also,
Yeah.
wasn't that a John Denver song that got
Yeah.
banned because people thought it was about drugs?
That I do not know. I know it was a John Denver song,
Oh.
but that's really funny. Is that like
I'm
a
gonna
Puff the
pretend that's a
Magic
fact.
Puff the Magic Dragon type thing or something like that?
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, and he was like, it's not about that.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure
John
that
Denver was like
some
a
Christians.
schoolboy for
Yeah.
most of his life.
I think it got banned by some overly sensitive folk.
Well, that's America for you.
That is literally America. We were founded by Puritans.
Yep.
Let's remember.
So I think, personally, that all drugs should be legal.
Yes.
They should be regulated
Yes.
by, I would say, our government, but maybe someone smarter than our government. Here's my idea. So we sell heroin. We sell cocaine. We sell meth.
You and me?
No, just in general as a society, we sell these
This is
things.
the next business venture.
We sell, well, I mean, we could if this works. My idea is to sell the meth and the cocaine and the heroin in stores like Rite Aid or whatever drugstore, whatever, where you would go to get cough medicine, you can get that. And we lace it with birth control.
Wait, have you heard of the thing? Oh, God. I wish I knew the details of this. There was a guy. Fuck, this is going to be so messy. There was a guy who like offered women who were addicted to crack a certain amount of money to get their tubes tied.
Mm.
And those women, a lot of them took him up on it.
Right.
Because they wanted money to buy crack.
Right.
And he was like, well, you won't get pregnant
Right.
when some crime is committed against you by a man
Right.
in an alley somewhere. You won't get pregnant, and then there won't be like a baby born into the world who is probably already addicted to crack.
Oh,
And even if they're
definitely.
not, they're also being born to like a really, you know, unfortunately
Right.
poor
Well-
and desperate woman on her own out on the streets. And some people thought that that was unethical. And I'm like, well, if we're not going to offer them treatment
Right.
and we're not going to offer them a nice environment to have a child and raise a family, then yeah, do it.
The people that thought that that was unethical have never seen a drug addicted baby.
Which, oh my God,
I've heard, I think it was.
that makes me want to
I
fucking
heard from a
cry.
nurse. I don't remember whether it was meth or heroin, but one
Ugh.
of them, it takes like a year
Mm.
to be out of the baby's system.
That's
So
so
for the
sad.
first year of this baby's life, it is in withdrawals.
It
Like agonizing pain
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a year's worth
yeah.
of screaming and crying.
And the amount of trauma that
For the rest of their
provides
life.
for your entire life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing
fuck
it's
those people.
probably not heroin because I think you can kick heroin
I think
after
it's
like
meth.
a week.
I thought it was meth.
So it must be meth.
Yeah.
Meth.
I listen
It must be meth.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Oh, it's so fucking.
Because meth is just chemicals.
Yes. Yeah.
At least like opium is like.
It's a plant.
It looks like
It's
the plants
natural.
behind us.
It kind of does.
We're
This
gonna
is quite fitting.
have a very interesting background for the
Yeah.
drug episode.
Actually, I'm just going to keep quoting this stuff you should know episode.
Okay.
They said that opium or poppy plants were grown in Colombia and China.
Okay.
And then, in like the 80s or 90s or whatever. And then because they're not difficult to grow, but you do need like a huge field for like poppy flowers.
Yeah.
And so then in Afghanistan, they started to grow poppies. And the Taliban, when they were in charge in the 90s, were like, no, we're not fucking doing this. So they would burn the poppy fields down, which the Taliban, fuck the Taliban, obviously, right? I'm not sticking up for the Taliban. But like they did prevent Afghanistan from like producing heroin. So they tried to like keep that shit down. And then when the US went into Afghanistan in the early 2000s, the US military was like, we're going to destroy all the poppy fields and keep the production of heroin down. But the Taliban had been doing a really good job at that. So the US like pretended to come in and be the saviors, but then they didn't do a good job. So then poppy fields sprung up everywhere. So then Afghanistan like started producing a lot of heroin.
Fun.
So yeah, another travesty of the US just fucking sticking our noses where it don't belong.
Yep. Yeah.
And then when the Taliban came back into power a few years ago, they were just like, oh, well, we're making money off of this, so I guess let's actually do it this time.
So my question for you. Have you ever been curious about any drugs?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like about doing them?
Yeah. Not like, I want to Google this later.
I've never, well, like I said earlier, I've never wanted to do any drugs, but I have been curious about how it might feel
Sure.
to be not curious enough to actually do them. I don't think I ever wanted to do heroin because I figured that you do it and then you just, like, it's supposed to give you a feeling of euphoria.
Yeah.
But every time, which I think is why it's so addictive. And it's also like literally addictive in your brain because your brain, it causes you to produce so much dopamine that your brain is like, well, now we have to produce all of the other, I don't know what it's called.
Stuff.
Thoughts and feelings.
Sure.
It's not what it's called. What is it called? It's not hormones. What the, guys, come on. I don't know this, but it causes you to produce all the other things to create an equilibrium.
Sure.
And then when the heroin leaves your system, your dopamine crashes and then all you feel is like pain and fear and anxiety. And so then you have to keep doing heroin to bring, anyway, but I think another reason it's so addictive is because it feels so good when you do it. And so you just want more.
Right.
Even if you don't have like a physical need for more, you just want more.
Isn't the first time supposed to be like 1,000 times better than any other time
Yeah.
you try it? And so like
You do it
you're always chasing that first time.
Yes, exactly. But in the movies, people do heroin and then they just immediately like lie down and like pass out. And I'm like, well, that doesn't look like I can just go to sleep.
Right.
I don't need that.
It's not a party drug.
Yeah, I think if I were ever going to do a drug back in the day, I probably would have done either coke or like ecstasy or something. But I mean, like I said, I was never offered any of those drugs. And I think if I had,
you don't know. Maybe you were.
I think if I had been offered, because like in college, I mean, I went to college in Virginia and weed was not legal. I mean, now it's like a gray area. It's still not technically legal.
It's surrounded by enough states where it's legal.
Yeah, I tried when I was in Virginia like 2 years ago or something. I went into what I thought was a dispensary and tried to buy a joint for my mom. And they were like,
it's from my mom. It's no.
No, it was legitimately going to be for my mom because I don't smoke weed. It makes me feel nauseous and it makes me want to go to sleep. So there's not really any point in me smoking it. But I went in and asked if I could like look at their products, and the woman was like, "Oh, it's this thing where you have to sign up for a membership and then you have to whatever, and it's a subscription thing and then you have to do it here." And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, in college, and that was like 10 years after college. So when I was in college, I mean, people were always like passing around bongs or whatever. And I usually would just pass it to the next person and just keep sipping on my beer. So I was definitely never curious. Whoops. I was never curious enough to actually try anything. But yeah, I think it probably, if I had tried something, it probably would have been, like I said, like Coke or ecstasy or something. Just because it seemed a little more fun.
Yeah.
Than, again, like heroin. And then like meth, like that always sounded way too dramatic for me.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know if this counts as a drug. I mean, I guess it is. I have always wanted to try a muscle relaxer. Just because I feel like the feeling of having all of it, like you can get it from the doctor kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
isn't that just I just thought that was a painkiller.
I mean, I think it's something that I just have never, to feel the feeling of every single muscle in my body being relaxed at the same time is something that I've never experienced. And I've also heard that you get really fucked up dreams.
I feel like my roommate in college had those.
It's not that they're like
maybe she had like an injury.
I would you have to have something.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely got them from the doctor.
Knock on wood, never had an instance where I've had to have those. But if I knew someone that, like, I would pay some money.
Does it make you feel like mentally high, or do you just
I think it's just like a body high of like all of your muscles relaxing, which would be.
I think I would also like that.
Yeah. That sounds fun, right?
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure I have my 60th birthday planned already.
Wait, I thought you were about to say you have your 60th birthday coming up, and I was like,
it's already planned.
Where did the last 20 years go?
For years, it's been planned. And more than 20 years.
Sorry. I was like, did you put something else in my massive tequila cocktail?
I am pretty sure that I will do acid.
Okay.
On my 60th birthday.
Nice.
I just think that would be fun, and that would be a good time to try it.
Yeah.
And acid is like the only, because again, like acid is not an like chemically addictive thing.
Yeah.
And it's also something that you can't overdose on. Like, I'm a big fan of not overdosing.
Yeah.
So like weed, you literally physically cannot.
Because wouldn't you just like pass out?
You couldn't. Yeah, you could not intake enough. Like your muscles would not be able to physically get it enough into your system.
Yeah.
For you to somehow overdose on it.
Yeah. It's like trying to hold your breath to like kill yourself.
Exactly.
It's like eventually you'll just pass out and then you'll start breathing again.
Yeah, exactly. Like your body just wouldn't do it. So speaking of weed, I have our closing segment today is going to be too high stories, like stories of people that were too high.
I thought you were going to be like, our closing segment is Victoria smokes a shit ton of weed and we watch her. No.
That's going to be for a live stream, future live stream.
Watch Victoria take a nap. And be like, oh, I'm dizzy. Okay, I'm excited for these stories.
So our closing segment today.
Are they both from you?
No, I went on, this is all Reddit.
Okay.
A lot of these are just really short, like one sentence, and then I have one that's a little bit longer. That's the last one that's my favorite. So these are Reddit's too high stories, and these are people that were just a little too much, little
too high,
too strong of an edible, a little.
Oh, those edibles, man.
Because you don't know what's coming. You don't know.
People need to wait like 6 times longer.
Yeah.
After they take an edible.
Because they think that an edible is the same thing as smoking. It is not the same.
Yeah.
You are digesting that shit.
Yeah.
And you need to wait for a good hour before you start.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I did edibles with Brian. Brian, half an hour in, I think he took like a I think it was something like he took a 10 milligram thing and he didn't feel anything after half an hour, which is not how long that takes to
No, you
kick
gotta
in.
wait.
And then he took a 25
No,
milligram thing.
no.
So then
Brian.
eventually he had 35 milligrams coursing through his
Oh my God.
no tolerance
Poor
built up
baby.
little system.
No,
as
that's way
we
too much.
Ran around Disneyland.
No.
Which was,
oh my God.
mostly him every 2 seconds. I have to pee. No, you don't. I have to pee. Okay. So we'll go pee.
Yeah.
We go pee. He comes out of the bathroom. I think I have to pee. Okay. No, you don't. No, you don't.
You're just high out of your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like was in the bathroom for a while wondering where I was. So there's a men's bathroom and there's a women's bathroom. I'm not in the bathroom with you. You need to come out of the bathroom. It was a thing. Anyway, these are
Oh
not
my
that
God,
story.
That sounds like my worst nightmare.
That story for a future podcast or live stream.
We could have him on to tell that story.
We could have a little pop in. He doesn't remember. I would tell the story. He doesn't remember the story. He doesn't know the story. He knows the story that I told him because I told him the story. Okay. Closing segment. 2 high stories. Not 2, but like not dose.
Excessively high.
Very much
story.
High stories.
Very much high.
The first one. I watched 20 minutes of a movie before I realized it was in Russian. I don't speak Russian.
Oh my God.
20 minutes is a long time.
20 minutes.
That's a lot of a movie.
And I'm sorry, Russian is
a lot
like,
of a movie.
If that was written by someone who speaks
That's a
English,
sixth of a movie.
Russian is very
So
obviously not English.
So much different. I mean, this was written in English, so I assume that they do speak English.
Oh my God. They didn't realize that they were being yelled at for 20 minutes.
I don't speak Russian. I didn't realize.
That's amazing.
This one's really good. I once was so high that when my Uber Eats delivery was late, I checked the oven.
Where the fuck is my food? Okay, that's a good one.
I wonder how quickly it went from disappointment to realization. Like when they opened the oven and didn't see it in there.
It's not
You're
even cooking yet.
Oh, right.
They didn't even put it in the oven yet.
0 stars.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay, this one's really good. Because I do enjoy when you have a bunch of household chores to do that you don't want to do. Just a little, maybe not a sleep aid, but a chores aid. Just a little something to make it not as dull. And you just go on autopilot and you just clean. But sometimes the autopilot is like, it's not quite lined. Like the dial for autopilot is like slightly skewed.
Yeah.
I was washing the dishes, put the sponge on the rack to dry, and continued washing a spoon with another spoon.
With another spoon. Just clanging the metal together.
Clang, clang.
No scrubbing happening
With soap.
Anywhere.
And just trying to get it nice and shiny.
Put the sponge to dry.
That sponge, it worked hard. It needs a rest.
Oh my God.
I'll just use this little... This one, I love how short it is. And like, no, it's not like I was cooking it. The whole post, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I cracked my egg into the egg carton.
Oh.
Just bang, bang, crack to the cardboard.
I don't think that's how cooking works.
I love you so much.
But I wonder, okay, I really want to follow up.
Nobody's getting hurt.
No.
Nothing really bad is happening.
Yeah.
These are my kind of drug stories. Like,
yeah.
This is just, it's stuff that like you could do if you were just super distracted or just like, but it's.
Yeah. And this is when people say that, you know, weed should be legal because you're not going to get really high and then like punch someone in the face.
Right. There's never been a
but alcohol is legal.
Right.
And you could get really drunk and then punch someone in the face.
Right.
So, I mean, please don't outlaw alcohol. But I do kind of agree with that sentiment. Like, if alcohol is legal, then obviously weed should be as well.
Right.
Because if they were drinking, it could be like, the story would not be I cracked the egg into the egg carton. It would be I went to take my trash out and my neighbor looked at me the wrong way and I murdered their dog.
So here's the thing. Here's the analogy
dark.
for what you're trying to compare.
Oh.
It's like if they outlawed soda for caffeine, but didn't do it with coffee.
Yeah. Right.
The real, if the real damage is the caffeine, if it's really the drug, then why are you, if it's the behavior that people will take on when they're high, why are you allowing the much significantly worse behavior of someone who is drunk?
Right.
Like I said, there's not a lot of people that, go on a kill it. No one's going to there are cases of people hitting their wives and stuff because they're high on weed.
Most people, when they get high, they just kind of sit there and giggle.
It's giggly. I want munchies.
I mean, the obvious answer to this as to why alcohol is legal and weed is not is racism. But we don't need to talk about that.
Oh, it's also, I thought you were going to point out that you can't grow alcohol in your backyard.
Well, have you heard of rednecks?
Well, but to the thing that would take the amount of work that it would take to grow something in your backyard.
To set up a still.
Yes. To make alcohol in your backyard versus a literal weed, which is going to grow no matter what, but all you have to do stick it in front of the sunlight and give it some water every now and then. And you have free medicine, recreational drug. It is.
Yeah, my
and then it keeps
college
growing.
Boyfriend grew
all you have to do is
weed
dry
in his apartment.
Yeah. All you have to do is dry it.
Yeah.
That's not, you can't do that in America. In America? Okay, here's the last one because this episode is getting long. All right, last one. This one is a little bit longer than the other ones, but it is one of my favorite. I really hope you like this because I was literally crying as I was reading this earlier today.
Okay.
Was trying to Google some question, but instead texted my friend.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Think about the things that you Google.
Oh, no.
And the way in which you Google. It's not, you never type into Google, what was the name of the person who, it was actor, Severance, what, you just, it's keywords that the robots will pick up on to give you the right answer.
Yeah. It's always man, 1990s, wolf, Alaska, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not. Okay.
So was trying to Google some question, but instead texted my friend. Didn't realize what I had done or that I never got the answer to my question. Because, of course, it didn't just pop up on his screen as soon as he texted his friend like it does with Google.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that I never got an answer to my question until 10 minutes later. He texted me back what the fuck? Why did you send that? Because, of course.
Wait, I really want to know, did it say what the text was?
I explained to him that I meant to Google it, but I'm high and messed up. Put my phone down without closing the messages app.
Oh, God.
I did the same thing 20 minutes later. So he texts his friend some random bullshit.
And then did it again.
Has to backtrack and explain.
I'm sorry, I'm so high. I didn't mean to text you that. And then 20 minutes later.
So sorry. That was my mistake. My bad. So sorry. Have a good day. 20 minutes later.
I wonder how similar it was to the first text. That's really funny. If I were that friend, I think I would have done a wellness check, honestly.
I did the same thing 20 minutes later, but realized right after I hit send. So he's getting better, guys. He is sobering up.
Yeah.
We are learning from our mistakes.
And that's the most important thing in life.
My favorite sentence of this whole thing. Definitely harder to explain the second time.
Is it, though? Because all you have to do is be just see above. Just a little up hand emoji.
But we both had a good laugh.
How high do you have to be for that?
I don't know, but I kind of want to be friends with this person. Oh my God.
I really want to know what they were Googling.
I don't know, but oh man, that was one of my favorites. Okay. I'm crying. All right.
20 minutes. I like that it wasn't 30 seconds later.
No, he went about his day. He's like, that was crazy. Totally forgot about it. Like, I'm sure it was a completely different thing he wanted to Google at that point. He had a million thoughts. Like, time slows down.
Yeah.
When you're that high. I'm sure he was living multiple lifetimes, and he just something else came up, and he was like, you know what? I should Google that, and just did the same.
That's amazing. I like that. I like that one.
Oh my God. My face hurts. Okay. Our next episode is out on Friday, and Victoria will be talking about elevators.
Yeah, it's not. This was actually quite a funny episode, I feel. Elevators.
I mean, drugs are fun.
Oh, now I'm worried. Okay.
It's fine. It's
gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Friday. It's not till Friday. We'll go up. We'll go down. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It'll be a good episode.
Here's my suggestion. Try to have a really shitty week.
Okay.
So that when you listen to the Elevators episode, you'll think it's wonderful.
That's a great sign off. Have a shit week. Thanks so
everyone.
much for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening at our new mics.
Yes, I hope they sound good. I'm sorry I hit my mic a few times.
In the background.
The poppies.
It will be here next episode, but maybe not after that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think, we'll probably keep it for the next one, and then maybe
we're an ever
who knows?
Podcast.
We don't know what we're doing.
Please subscribe, leave us a review, follow us at Everything's Dumb Pod on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you have a dumb topic that you want us to do a dumb pod about, please reach out to us at any of those platforms. You can also email us at everythingsdumbpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
We will talk to you on Friday. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.